Here are 7 things I would do before selling a home in Birmingham, Alabama. If I were getting ready to sell my home in Birmingham right now, I would not start by renovating the kitchen. I wouldn't start by painting every room. And I definitely wouldn't start by randomly spending money on things I think buyers might want. There are 7 things I would do first because the Birmingham real estate market has changed and the homes that are selling tend to have one thing in common. They were positioned correctly before they ever hit the market. I'm Bridget Sikora with Living in Birmingham with Bridget. I've been selling real estate in Birmingham for more than 20 years, and today I'm walking you through exactly what I would do if I were preparing my home to sell. Number 1, know your competition. The first thing I would do is figure out what I'm actually competing against. And I don't mean looking at a Zestimate. Real estate in Birmingham is incredibly local. What's happening in Mountain Brook may be completely different than what's happening in Homewood. Vestavia Hills can be different from Cahaba Heights, and they're the exact same city. And even within Mountain Brook, what's happening in Crestline may be different than what's happening in Brookwood Forest or Cherokee Bend. Buyers aren't looking at your house in a vacuum. They're comparing it to everything else they can buy in that price point. So before we talk about price, repairs, or improvements, I want to know, what else is that buyer going to see? That's where your selling strategy begins. Number 2, don't renovate before getting advice. This one can potentially save you thousands of dollars. I've walked into homes where sellers have already spent money on improvements that I probably would have told them not to make. Not every improvement gives you your money back. Sometimes fresh paint, updated lighting, landscaping, and good staging will make a much bigger difference than an expensive renovation. And sometimes a dated kitchen is perfectly fine for the price point and the buyers that we're targeting. Before spending $20,000, $50,000 or more getting a house ready, have someone who understands your particular Birmingham market walk through it with you. Your goal isn't to create the house you would buy. It is to make smart decisions about what will help your buyer say yes. Number 3, take care of the little things. Now, while I don't necessarily want you doing a major renovation, I do want you to pay attention to deferred maintenance. That loose doorknob you've ignored for 3 years, the dripping faucet, the rotten piece of trim outside, the light fixture with the burned out bulbs in your front yard. Individually, none of these things is a big deal, but when buyers see several of them, they start wondering, what else hasn't been taken care of? That's the problem. Before listing, I like to walk through a home and make a very specific list. Do this. Don't bother with that. Spend money on that little thing. We aren't trying to make your home perfect. We're trying to remove the little objections that can make a buyer hesitate. Number 4, get staging advice early. Number 4 is staging, and staging does not mean you have to move everything out and bring in a truckload of new furniture. Often, staging is really editing, taking a few things off the countertops, remove some personal items and tchotchkes, change bedding, make it white, move your artwork around, or simply make a room's purpose more obvious. You've lived in your home one way, but we're now looking at it through the eyes of someone seeing it for the first time online. And that's important because your first showings probably isn't going to happen when somebody walks through your front door. It's happening on their phone, which brings me to number 5. Prepare for the camera, not just the showing. Today, your photos and video can determine whether someone even schedules a showing. That's why I don't want to photograph a house until it's truly ready. Lighting matters. Window treatments matter. The way the rooms connect visually matters. And one of the things I love about Birmingham homes is that so many of them have incredible character. Beautiful windows, old hardwoods, great porches, interesting architectural things around your house, views, mature landscaping. We're not simply documenting rooms, we're marketing what it feels like to live there. Number 6, price for the market you're in now. This may be the hardest conversation in the entire process. Your home is worth what today's buyer is willing to pay, not what your house sold for during a different market. And pricing too high because we can always come down can actually work against you. The first days on the market are incredibly valuable. That's when buyers and agents are paying the most attention. If we miss that window because we're testing an unrealistic price, we may end up chasing the market instead of letting the market compete for your home. My goal isn't to give a seller the highest number at the kitchen table. My goal is to create the strategy that gives them the best possible result at the closing table. And these are two very different things. Number 7, have a launch strategy before you list. Finally, I wouldn't put my home on the market until I knew exactly how it was going to launch on the market. When are the photos going to be taken? Do we need a video? When does it go coming soon? When does it go live? How are agents going to hear about it? Are we doing an open house? How are we marketing it online? What's our social media strategy? Who is the most likely buyer? And how are we putting this home in front of them? A listing shouldn't simply appear in the MLS and hope for the best. The marketing plan needs to be in place before we hit the button. That's especially important when you're selling a home that has something unique, whether that's location, architecture, acreage, a pool, walkability, main level living, or something else. We need to know the story we are telling. So, if you're thinking about selling your Birmingham home sometime in the next 6 months, or even in the next year, my biggest piece of advice is start the conversation earlier than you think you need to. You don't have to be ready to list. In fact, I'd rather walk through your home before you've even spent money getting it ready. We can talk about what I would change, what I wouldn't touch, what buyers in your area are looking for, and what your home might realistically sell for in today's market. I'm Bridget Sikora, and I've been helping people buy and sell homes throughout Birmingham for more than 20 years. If you're considering selling in Mountain Brook, Homewood, Vestavia Hills, Cahaba Heights, or anywhere around Birmingham, my contact information is below. And if you want more straightforward advice about buying, selling, and living in Birmingham, subscribe to my channel, Living in Birmingham with Bridget. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.